Hello and welcome. I'm Radhaa of Radhaa Publishing House, and I'm so excited to welcome renowned healer Michelle Woodruff. She's going to be hosting an exclusive book signing event at Barnes & Noble for Awakening Starseeds Volume 3, Dreaming into the Future. Yay!
Yay! We have to dream in the future because that's what we have is our dreams.
Exactly. We have to dream it into being, right?
And we have to dream big.
We do. We have to dream big beyond the quantum space that we've been stuck in.
Yes, and beyond our cultural conditioning that we've been raised with. So we have to shed all of that. So I do want to thank you, Radhaa, for having me. And I want to thank you for bringing together this incredible global group of healers that have such a significant impact on the healing community and on the world. I just think it's really important that it's time we all start coming out of our shell and we come off of the couch and we start walking into who we are. I think a lot of us have been restraining ourselves, not just the authors, but I think the world in general. A lot of us might be quiet healers and we just kind of kept it hidden for so long. But I know in my practice, I have so many people who just come to me on a daily basis and they're feeling new things. They're sensing new things. They come in saying things, and these are just everyday people. They come in saying things like, I feel like there's this flower opening on my side. Or they come in saying like, I just feel like I'm twisted from head to toe. And what they don't understand is they're really starting to connect in with their human energy system, but no one's educated them on it or guided them through the process. And in my chapter, I discuss my particular modality. I do several modalities, but my signature modality is really using movement because so many people feel that they can only grow if they go only internal quietly. But we have so much of a connection with movement and it's so innate. But through all these years, the baby boomers of working hard, of building civilizations and cultural conditioning, we've just chomped all that down and said, no, we can't move. We can't do this. We have to sit still and behave in class, right?
Yeah, that's a conditioning, right? We learned that
It
in
is.
Sit
Right.
still, behave, be quiet, and
Sit down.
sit down.
Stop moving. Sit still.
Oh, it's like it is such a conditioning, and I think it's caused us to, yeah, we haven't been able to open. Like it's so against our natural flow,
Yes.
who we
Yes.
are. And I think that we're realizing, hey, we're having aches and we're having pains in our body and it feels like the energy is not flowing,
That's
right?
exactly what's happening. I always say we're human pewters. So your human pewter has an indicator, and your indicator is a pain. And a lot of times we just want to ignore that because we've been programmed. So ignore it, go take an aspirin, go do this. But if we could just tap into our own innate ability, which includes movement, it just can open up our energy center and move things so much faster. Whenever I have a client on the table, they're so used to just laying there. I'm going to body work and I'm going to get work done, right? That's what my dad used to call it. Can you work on me? Okay. We're going to get work done. The body worker does this. She's great. He's great. No, the body worker is not the one doing the work. The body worker is only bringing your attention to your work, bringing your attention to your space, to your body, to your energy system. And you're the one who's doing the work. But so many people want to just lay there still. So I have a lot of people coming in and I can really feel innate movement. So that's where my gift is. I can stand next to a person. They're like, well, I've been stretching like this. And they're giving me the textbook stretch. And I'm like, okay, well, wait a minute. Why don't you put a little twist here? And then what about bringing this across like this? And contort that a little bit more. And they're like, oh my God, that's the exact spot. How did you know that? I said, I'm just reading your energy system, and you can do this too. We just have to take off our barriers. We need to take off all those cultural restrictions and move the way we feel we need to. So many times I'll say, don't you feel like you need to like move that leg over this and then twist it? And they're like, well, yeah, but I said, then do it. But I'm supposed to just lay. No, I'm showing you how to move into your own energy system. And that is what healing movement is about. And that's what I talk about. Now, it's a whole structured format, starting with, I start with tapping, because tapping is great for removing our belief system that's holding us back. So getting rid of any limiting beliefs and opening us up. After tapping, then I go into a movement verbalization meditation that was given to me by my guru, Mataji Namala. And then after that comes the fun part. So you assume the access position and I put on the music. And so what I do is I can see where that person's body is wanting to move and how it's wanting to move to the music. So I use a different variety. I usually start with drumming, because I think drumming is very innate for everyone, no matter who they are. And it just kind of gets them comfortable with moving. And then I'll go over and I'll exaggerate it with them, and I'll exaggerate it with them. So it might be, someone might be like shaking, like they're having convulsions, or another person might just be moving their hands slowly. Because that's what their process is. And so all I do is come and magnify that, so they can hook into it and feel it and feel it. Once you start connecting with your innate ability to move, the sky's the limit, because you're opening up those energy centers. You're drawing the energy up from the earth and down from the universe, both. And you're meeting them right in the heart chakra. And with that movement, you're carrying that energy forward and going from there. So it's really an important thing for me to bring up clients' awareness to their movement, so that they can start connecting with it. I have one lady who's like, had body work done for 2 years, and no one ever showed me like her movement had a lot like this kind of movement. She's like, no one ever showed me like I should just like go with that. I was doing 20 stretches for my neck, but I can do this for 5 minutes and my pain's gone.
Wow.
So it's just connecting in with our true selves, because we've shut down to that movement, whether it's cultural conditioning or just deciding that we were stepping away from it, or maybe it was too weird, or maybe it has something to do with trauma that you've been through and then you just stepped out of your body. I mean, the number one thing that people do when they experience trauma is they move out of their body.
Yes.
And so it
many
might take a
parts.
little coaxing for them to come back in, feel comfortable with it.
So true.
Yeah.
Everything you described, it sounds so delicious. Like I'd love to experience that, like, yeah, there are movements that we don't allow ourselves to have,
Right.
or because everything has been so ingrained. This is the way. And even those of us who have been rebels, we still get stuck in the physical positioning of, and it's a
Yes.
drag, because you know what, my body's been longing to move, and it's like, when do we give ourselves permission to find those spaces
Right.
that allow an opening? Because without that, there there's so much more, I think, that can come through us. So I think
Yes.
healing
Yeah.
is so incredible, this
Right.
way of healing.
Yeah. I mean, indulgent or indigenous culture has been doing this for centuries. It's nothing new. And why do they still do that? Because they're not culturally conditioned. They're listening to themselves, listening to their body, and listening to the environment around them. And they're in unison with that. Whereas we went through, and I especially feel the baby boomer generation, they had an incredible task ahead of them, building societies around the world. So they just got so super focused on that. And then the next generation, that's how we were raised. You follow all these rules, A, B, C, D, and you get to E. But that's not the way it is anymore. That energy's gone. It was very valid when it was needed and necessary, but it's gone now. It's completely gone. And I have people coming in. I feel like I have a flower on my side that's opening. I said, you do. It's called a chakra. Let me tell you what that is, and let's work with it, and let's move. What does it feel like you need to do with it? Feels like I need to move it up. Okay, well, let's move it up. Let's see what that feels like. Or another one comes, I feel like I got a tornado on my head.
Wow.
Well, that's your crown chakra. That's your connection to the universe.
Mhm.
What does it feel like? What makes me want to do this? I said, okay, so take off that expectation, take off that barrier, move with it, go with it, see what it feels like. And then a lot of times it ends up being a lot bigger. So that's what I do with the healing movement. My dance background is extremely formal. I graduated from Webster University in the 80s. It's theater and dance major. All my friends dance with Beach Boys or Cats or whatever. I went to school with people I see on TV all the time. But my avenue was not performance. My avenue was healing. Because I was 30 years ahead of my time, it didn't just come together until the last couple years. And the more that I take off those barriers, that training, it's like, this is how a dancer is. The more I remove that and I just go with my movement, the more my life manifests into an incredible, magical experience.
Ooh.
So it's there for everyone. They just have to. I love Disney. So we were at Disney last year and I was following the little parade and I was so joyous because we had such a difficult couple of years. I'm like, I'm back. Yes, it's toned down, but it's the parade and it's the music. And I just started following along behind the parade, dancing. And you know what? When you see someone do that in public, you're really not saying, boy, they're crazy. You're like, go. Yeah,
Yeah,
this makes
yes.
me feel good. It's contagious. Movement is contagious. If we would just embrace that. I have one client has a standing desk and she really likes to move. And I said, why aren't you doing that at work? Well, people would look at me. I said, so what? It's your desk. You can do what you want, right? You're not being disruptive. I said, and by doing that, you take that spark of light and you spread it out.
Oh,
Because so many people, when they see people dance, look at all these TikToks. You're
yeah.
just like, yeah, fun, 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 fun. What it is, it's really raising that energy. It's really bringing that light in and shining it.
Mm.
It
Yeah.
becomes contagious.
It is so contagious. I was just gonna say, like, even when I've seen people like dancing on the corner, right? So like there's really unique people. One time I saw this guy dancing and he was so ecstatic and so into it. And he was going, he was just making these beautiful movements and pulsing out. And I literally was like, wow, he's doing light work, he's doing grid work right now.
Exactly. That's exactly what movement is. It is light work. It is. I mean, I'm getting ready to go to the Barnes and Noble that I'm going to do the book signing
That's
at.
right.
And,
Hello.
yeah. And I'm going to go there a couple days early. So I'm going to go there Thursday night and I'm going to record myself dancing into the front door to Walk This Way by Aerosmith. You know,
Nice.
because that's what I'm doing. It's like I'm bringing movement to the world. People, quit being such stick in the mud. God didn't just send us here to be serious and only meditate and be quiet, and He sent us here to have fun too, right?
Come
So
on, joy is what the world needs. Joy is,
it
I
is.
feel like that's what we are needing. We understand suffering so well. Like
Yeah.
I don't think we need to go to like, I feel like we're growing out of the need to learn from suffering. And that's been something that
Yes.
we
Yes.
we have been doing, and that we've been doing it since our birth. So that's
Correct.
just so ingrained, but we have to like shake that out of us because I
Yeah.
Because I'm like, no, I'm not interested in learning through suffering. And that's pretty much the way I've learned my whole life. But now
Right.
it's time,
Enough is enough.
it's time to shake it out, you know?
Yeah, shake it out, baby, right? Twist and
Oh,
shout.
this stuff,
But
this is
yeah,
incredible. And you're gonna raise the vibration of the Barnes and Noble. You're gonna be spreading that light out. I always say that these book signing events with these star seeds, it's really a beautiful light work event because it's
yes.
like you're really coming in, you're regridding the area, you're just
Mhm.
putting all that beautiful energy out, and people that walk in, they receive it, whether
They
they
do.
pop and say hello or they talk to you for an hour or they go by, but they look at you and they're like, oh,
Right.
they take it in. There's something that's there for them. But they're going to be so excited when they read the book and read the chapter. And this is
Yes.
such a beautiful modality. I have to ask you. So, say somebody's like, "Oh, I want to learn that." How can they learn it? Do they learn it just with you in person? Do you do it online? What's the deal?
I can do it either in person or online. So I have an innate ability to read a body like a map, and a movement system like a map. So a lot of times, I can definitely do it remotely, say like this format, through Zoom or in person, either one, because I can actually see where the body wants to go when the music comes on. And I'm like, hey, come on, let's this way. Don't you feel that? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, well, let's do it.
Let's go.
Yeah, because self-reflection is beautiful. Don't get me wrong. I spent a fair share of my time in meditation, but not all of us were made to sit still and meditate.
Mhm.
And this is for the people who can sit still and meditate and the people who can't sit still and meditate. Because I have so many people come in and say, I've tried to meditate and I just can't. I'm like, well, maybe you're just using the wrong format. So
Mhm.
let's see if you can move. And every time I do the healing movement, the Seiki tapping, afterwards, everyone always the things they say are like, I feel lighter, I feel like I'm tingling, I feel like I'm high, or they're all those are all signs of elevating your energy and unblocking everything and balancing the energy system. So I don't ever have anyone say, man, I feel like crap. It's like people are like, oh, this is awesome. I go to a conference, I'm like, okay, let's go. Here we go. And then everyone's like,
You're making
first,
me want to
like,
dance. I want to move. I'm like, yeah, sign me up. When do we start? This is so cool. I mean, and I read your chapter and I was like, it's so exciting, but I think also hearing you speak about it as well, it I get it even deeper. You know what I mean? Because I'm getting the understanding um of how the body unfurls itself with this exquisite modality. And I could see how you could start, training teachers and then have them go
that's
out.
the goal. That is the goal, is to get to that point. And so I've been in the traditional healthcare for 30 years. Well, I also did the alternative healthcare. So I was the voodoo lady. That's what if the physical therapist couldn't fix them, they sent them, go see the PTA, the voodoo lady. Go see the witch doctor. She'll get you fixed up. I don't know how she does it, but she'll get you fixed up. Just because I was using modalities 30 years ago that were not understood.
Yeah.
Now they're common day words: myofascial release, cranial sacral therapy, you know, they're common now, but back then we were really like,
For like, yeah, you do these incredible modalities and people don't get it, and sometimes they're like, oh, they label that, but the truth is, no, this is opening, this is connecting to source.
yes, yes, and it looks
Lots of
different for every
it's
person.
inverted just to say that, because really it's light work. It's just being a conduit of the divine, right? So
Yes, yes, and to teach clients how they can do that even for themselves and how they can bring that forward. So that's the whole goal, and to teach people how to teach this technique and move forward with it across the country or world or whatever. So this is just kind of like the book. It's just the opening. So
so exciting. So your event is Saturday, May 20th. It's going to be at 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. So that's going to be sweet. People can come talk to you, meet you,
Yes.
and learn more about this modality and the other ones that you're doing. So it's going to be at Peter's in Missouri, correct?
Yes, which is the Metro St. Louis area.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's by the Mid Rivers Mall location. So a lot of people in the greater St. Louis area know where that mall is. So it's the location next to the mall. So
It's going to be a big one. I'm
yes.
so excited. You're going to bring your crystals.
And if anyone has any questions or wants to schedule a session, they can just always go to my website, which is myofficialstl.com. So
Perfect. That is so exciting. I am thrilled. And I just want to say I'm so proud of you. You know, it's just so wonderful. Like the fruition of, you know, the process of writing the chapter, sharing it with the world. We go through many steps from the Kindle edition to the paperback, and then following through and coming forward and sharing this work, you know, at Barnes and Noble. It's beautiful because you know you're totally stepping into the spotlight and sharing this work that will help so many people, you know, and it takes a lot of courage. Not every author says yes to book signings. A lot of authors are still shy. So I just want to really acknowledge your courage and your passion, and I can feel your passion and your love, and I say that's what matters. That's what matters.
yeah, well, let's move, people.
Ready, I'm gonna turn on some music after this.
Yeah.
You got me going, Michelle. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. Thank you for your beautiful presence here on Earth and all that you're doing. You know, you just opened up your own center, healing center, and you're just doing so much. It's just very inspiring to know
Well,
you.
the more I move, the more things move for me.
Ah,
So,
good one. I like that. I better.
so there's been a lot of things happen in the last 8 months, believe me. It's
Oh
been
my,
incredible. So I just follow the flow.
yes. Oh, beautiful. Well, thank you so much for coming on today and letting everybody know about your Barnes and Noble event. And they'll be able to purchase a book from you there, correct?
Correct. Yes, yes.
Wonderful. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. And thanks all for joining us.
Okay, let's get moving.